Our friend Doug Christie. You all know him. He's on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. DC, thanks for joining us as always, my friend. Let me ask you this, and I know most coaches, they say, oh, no, I saw this coming, or I felt like this team was going to be this good. Has this team played better than you anticipated it would play when you guys got ready to start this season?
Yeah, I would say I think so. I think, to your point, my expectations and my thoughts of what I thought this team could always be are, I think, what we've seen and we're watching materialize. But the fact that in the Western Conference, we've been able to win some games, especially after, 0-4, I think it was, 0-5, whatever it was, start, to be able to do what we've done. Yeah, I definitely think so.
Having gotten to this point and doing what you guys have done, is there any ceiling or cap on the expectations from this point moving forward?
Hell no, man. What are you talking about?
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. That's why I asked that question, Coach.
My thing is always win a championship. That's just how I'm wired, because if I think that even if you don't have the capabilities or possibilities or the players, that has to be your mindset, because when we get on the plane, when we run our drills, when we do whatever we want to do, when that moment arrives, we need to do it as champions so that we understand how we are supposed to do it and how we are supposed to get there. So to answer your question, man, up, let's keep going.
Doug Christie with us here, Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. Doug, We've seen this team show resiliency time and again. The other night in Oklahoma City without Fox, you guys had a stretch where you went 6 for 28 from 3. What makes a team have that gene, so to speak, that resiliency gene?
I think, in many ways, it's a credit to Mike and how Mike approaches everything. But I also think that it's a big credit to the guys, because they're the ones that are out there, like the ability to find a way. When you think back to the Clippers game, for instance, we're down 10 with like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever it was. But just to watch them hit a shot and get a stop and support each other and not get down on each other, and always believe that there is a way, and then willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Like it's something that as a group, I think that they believe it starts with an individual, and then it just kind of permeates through the group. And before you know it, you find yourself in moments and you believe that there's a chance that we can make it happen. And more times than not, they continue to do it.
We talked coming out of the All-Star break about the intensity and the urgency of games going up a notch because of the tightness in the standings and everybody jockeying for position, and just a lot of urgency and desperation throughout the conference right now, Coach. And you look at the roster, and not a lot of guys have been through those battles that we're talking about. You've been there, you've done that, you've been in those battles. Did you impress upon these guys what the assignment is to close this thing out and finish strong?
Without obviously talking about the things that I talked to them about, because that's between us. My last scout before the break, I believe it was Phoenix. And before that game, I had a conversation with them, as you're scouting and I'm speaking to the group. And I did. I said exactly kind of what you're talking about, is like, this is where things start now. Like, we need to understand where we're going, where we're trying to go, the obstacles that we're going to face, the physicality, the intensity, the sense of urgency. Like, these things are real, and you're going to feel them, and how we respond to those are going to be the defining moments of what happens to us as we move forward. And to their credit, you've seen what they've done, and they continue to do. Like, that's why I said, like, no, you don't put a ceiling on these guys. They can do whatever they want to do, and that's how you should always think.
Doug Christie is with us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. Let's talk about the Rook, Keegan's development coach throughout the season. What was there a specific moment that you saw it, or is this just the gradual progression for a mature rookie?
That's a great question. I would say it's tough because, like, when I first watched film on Keegan, I wasn't sure, because when you watch him, is it going to translate to our level? Then you watch him in summer league, and you're like, okay, well, then is that going to translate into the regular season? And then, like, he just keeps. You know why? Because he's a really good basketball player, man. Whatever you want to say, like, the kid can play basketball. He's fundamental. He does things the right way. The moments are not too big because he doesn't get so enthralled. He just kind of keeps that even keel. He's really good. And to be honest with you guys, I don't think that he's even begun to touch the things that are probably the potential of where he can go with dribbling, with talking, with, like, the things that I would expect out of him. And I'm sure he probably expects more, because that's how you get that good.
Yeah, we were talking with Coach Brown a couple of weeks ago, and he said one of the consistent messages to Keegan is be a little more disrespectful of your opponent and of your teammates when you got to take matters into your own hands and just go and do your thing. Is that the main key to Keegan Murray unlocking his full potential? Is that level of a healthy disrespect, Doug?
Let's just send him out there and disrespect the hell out of people, huh? No, really, you guys, that's why I think if you ever watch, like, when he goes and he just, like, dunks on somebody, or like, if you ever look at our bench, because they are so excited for him.
Yep.
Because I think that they can see that he is such a good kid. He does things the right way. He has the right temperament, very respectful. But I would agree with you. Just smack the hell out of somebody and let's get it going.
DC never had a problem with that. DC never had a problem to lay it down a little bit. Coach, last one for you today. And again, we appreciate your time as always. Coach Brown has done a great job keeping guys accountable. There's a story from Mark Spears about that this week. It's been a huge part of this turnaround, Coach. But who's the guy on the floor that you would say first and foremost has mostly played that role? Because you don't only get that from the coaching staff. You need that from one of the guys.
Ooh, that's a good one. I might say Malik Monk. Because I think that, like, accountability is the ability to say it, even if it's uncomfortable.
Right.
It's like, and so I would say Malik. I mean, most times, you might say it in a joking way, but that's how we begin the process of accountability. It's like, ha, 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 but I really mean it. As Coach has continued to point it out, and it's like it's not in a like, this is your fault. It's like, guys, to go where we want to go and to walk down those hollowed halls, we have to respect each other and have the willingness and the ability to get at each other in a way that is holding each other accountable to the point where coach doesn't have to do it anymore. And when that happens, well, we're cooking with grease. And the fact that he has continued to do that, I think it's just setting the right precedent moving forward, because pretty soon it'll be on autopilot, and you just do the right thing because that's how we're built and that's what we're about.
Davion's offensive struggles have been no secret, and not anything that anybody has really hidden from, but his defense remains at such a high level, Doug, that it doesn't seem to me that it's affecting him in terms of his struggles there. And then you had the game the other night. How close do you think he is to sort of breaking out of this thing and being that Davion Mitchell that we've seen before?
That's another good, man. You guys would you write all these things down, man? Damn.
You prepared, Coach.
No, it's a good one. Because like I've said kind of those words many times, but his confidence is the key to his game. The odd part is he's so confident on defense that sometimes on offense, I think he kind of. And when you're playing minutes the way that he is, sometimes it's sporadic, and sometimes, and if you notice these last few games, his minutes have been consistent, and then you've got a more consistent Davion Mitchell. He's a special talent, man. He puts in the work. He day or night, he's in the gym. I personally always I'm not worried about him. He's one that I don't worry about, even if it's not going well and maybe it's for 40 games. Like the way that he plays and the way that he works and the way he goes about his business, good things come to people who do that. That's just how he gets down, and it'll happen for him.
Great stuff as always, DC. Keep bringing back those dubs. We'll talk to you back soon.
Appreciate you guys, man. Go Kings.
Thank you. There goes Doug Christie on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.